I want to start out class with is I want you to use your imaginations a little bit. So I want you to visualize the most beautiful building you've ever seen. It's in your head? You got it?
Yeah.
Is it beautiful?
Yeah.
Brienne, what's your most beautiful building in the world?
I don't know, amazing.
Okay, what's on your building?
Colors?
Colors.
Flowers, lots of flowers.
Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, what's on your building?
My building was the Salt Lake Temple.
Salt Lake Temple.
Yeah.
Has all the spires and
Yeah, it's like a Gothic architecture type of thing.
yeah, has like the windows on the side. Has like marble, got the stars etched in on it. But so all of these buildings that we're going to be talking about, they have something in common. They have all these fancy things up here, right? Windows, fun things. But they all have something called a foundation. Right? What happens if you take a foundation out from a building?
It falls down.
Falls right down. What use is all these fancy spires and the windows and the stars and the colors and the flowers if they're all on the ground?
Nothing.
You can walk on them.
Yeah, maybe you could walk on them, but it's not very pretty as it would be if it had that foundation holding it up, right? So singing is much the same way. We have a foundation that we use. And that foundation is called breath support. And so, who's heard of breath support before? Everybody's in choir. Everybody's had a little bit of experience with their teachers about that. But breath support is probably our most foundational technique that we can learn to be able to perform the rest of our music beautifully. And so the object of this class today will be able to teach you four how to correctly engage that breath support so you can create a better tone and apply that to all the music that you're going to do for the rest of your life, hopefully. Alright? So, what are some of the things that breath support, supported tone allows us to do? Shane?
Sustain a note longer.
Sustain a note. So let's write this down. So we have sustaining longer. Could be a note, a single note, held out for like 10 seconds, that big ending piece. Or it could be just a phrase, right? Have you ever encountered a phrase where it's really difficult to reach the end, and you have to take a breath, maybe in the middle where it doesn't make sense? Yeah, I've done that a lot. And honestly, that can be overcome through proper breath support because it will help you last longer. What are some other ideas that we have that breath support can do? Nicole?
Clearer tone.
Clearer tone. Clear, supported tone. Right? A lot of times when we sing, or hear other people sing, especially on the radio, things like that, we hear that really breathy pop voice, but it's just as beautiful out there. They're singing high, but man, it sounds bad. Right? Am I right? I always make fun of it anyway. Maybe I'm just a snob. But that singing that they're doing, that pop vocal style, at least some of them, is lacking in proper breath support, and it makes it sound breathy, like they're just kind of letting all the water in the fire hydrant come out. And so, like Nicole said, we can have a clear, supported tone if we're using proper breath support. What other things can we do with proper breath support?
Well, I guess if you're just going, you're less likely to muscle the sound.
So we can be more relaxed, a more natural sound. That really, you can really tell when somebody's straining, can't you? Like, I used to do it all the time. I still do it when I get up high enough. But you just be like good and free, and then all of a sudden, and that sounds really bad, and people notice. And so when we have, these are just a few of the things. We can, like Nicole said, we can have the sustaining longer. We can have a clear, more supple tone. I used to get lightheaded when I would sing up higher notes because like the pop people I do it a little too breathy, and it's like hyperventilating, and you're like, whoa, I can't do the rest. And in men's choir with Mr. Dresden, I'd always have to sit down because I'd be passing out in the middle because I wasn't supporting the tone. And so, what I want to show you guys is how to do this so you can keep these techniques in mind. You always have to practice these. If you stop for a year or two, you're going to forget. It's always, you have to practice the basics, or your foundation is going to crumble, just like the buildings or like anything. You girls are in karate, right? Do you do any martial art of any sort of? These two are in karate, and they know a lot about stances, right? What happens if you're doing a fight and you're in a really shallow, weak stance?
You get knocked over.
You get knocked over.
You don't have a powerful blow.
You don't have a powerful blow. You can't put any power into it, and you stink, right? So you got to get down. You got to get deep into it. You got to be balanced, and you got to throw in your hip, and you got to get all the power. Your power is derived from that foundation, right? And it's the same thing with breast support. And so let's do some exercises to kind of demonstrate this. So everybody up. The first thing we're going to do is you need a good posture. If your breath, does anybody know how the breath is produced? How you breathe and how you respirate.
Your diaphragm.
Your diaphragm. How did you know that?
I took anatomy.
She's an anatomy fan. And so your diaphragm is a lot like this syringe, right? It has this little trampoline thing at the bottom, right? If you cut yourself in half, right in the middle, you'd find that your body is just like that. Has a little trampoline thing that goes up and down and puts in the air when it depresses. And it's the same thing here. If you pulled this down, a bunch of air would flood in, and you get it out. If you push it out, all the air is going to go out. But it needs to be unobstructed, right? If you plug up the hole, nothing's going to come out, right? Mm-hmm. So the first thing is to have a good posture to unobstruct your diaphragm. So we're going to do something right now. So everybody, take an imaginary stick. It's a pointy stick. Okay? And in this hand, you're going to take your imaginary string. Alright? Now take your pointy stick and jab it in your chest. Oh. Alright, so that's just sticking out there. You've got a nice little stick right here. Now tie your imaginary string on your chest, on your spike. Tie it up. Now tie it to the ceiling. Right? So now we're dangling by the string. Now tighten it up a little bit. Should get your ribs a little bit off the... You are tied by your chest to the ceiling. And so it should get your ribs out of the way a little bit. You have good expansion, right? Can everybody feel that?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
You get good expansion, and that's going to help you clear up. You also want your feet not too tight together, too far apart, but you just want a nice, relaxed, shoulder width position with your chest. Right? Right? So everybody tighten up a little bit. Great. Everybody on your stomach.
On the ground?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, next thing is we need to learn to breathe with our diaphragm. So everybody breathe in and try to breathe in through your stomach. Can everybody feel that?
Yeah.
We as people, we learn to breathe through our chests. That's wrong. If you ever watch a baby sleep, they breathe right through here. Right?
Uh-huh.
So that's what we want to do. Right? So breathe, everybody try to feel that. Put your hands on your back a little bit. You can feel it expand. Breathe through your stomach. That's the sensation we want when we're singing. Is that belly breathing. Right? That's where our power comes from. That's our deep karate stance. Okay, everybody. So, the other thing is we need to make it steady. I have a syringe here, right? To demonstrate this, I filled it full of water. And we can do this. I'll show you how the various ways that you can do this. So, when we're singing, we can produce a little bit of air. And it'll go kind of like this. It won't get very far. It's really weak. And it travels a good distance. Or you can just force it out all at the same time, and it goes everywhere, and nobody likes it because they got all wet from whatever came out of your mouth, and it just doesn't work very well. You turn out like one of those hyperventilating choir boys in men's choir like me. You try fainting out. So, keeping all this in mind, let's try to apply it. Let's grab your songbooks. Go to number 98. We're going to just sing through a hymn really quick. I need thee every hour. And remember all the things that I've taught you. First, let's do a little quiz. Brienne, what is a way that we can unobstruct our vocal passage?
To have good posture
Good posture. How can we do that?
by pulling your shoulders back and having good even foot space.
Exactly.
Oh.
What else? You're going to say something? Okay. Handy for you.
Okay.
You're going to choose. Nicole, what type of breath flow are we looking for?
Constant stream, even flow.
Have you ever seen an astronaut do that little breath exercise with the ball?
Yeah.
Where they blow into the tube and then the ball stays in the air?
Yeah.
And you have to do that for as long as you can. That's kind of what we want to focus on. Getting that sound, trying to like breathe in and then maintain that steady stream of air for as long as possible. A good breath would do 10 seconds of sustained breathing. So just going on forever, right? Mr. Dresden, your guys' teacher, he can do 20. I've seen it. So, that good breath support's really essential. Good job. One person. That's good. What other things can we do to master our breath support?
Feel resistance.
Good. We didn't go over that, but that's correct. Do you have anything, Shannon? Do you want a candy?
I want candy. Just kidding. You can keep your rib cage open so the diaphragm can move more.
That's really good. That's all right. So let's apply it. Let's sing the first verse from I Need Thee Every Hour. I need thee every hour. Ready? Rib cage is standing. Tighten up a little bit. Go.
I need thee every hour, most gracious Lord. No tender voice like
When you sing, you feel that belly breathing, slightly tugging in. On time, but that was exactly right. That's what we want to strive for when we're singing. If you guys can apply the things that we talked about today, you'll be able to apply these things that you guys brought up, having a sustained longer, having a clear and supported tone, relaxing. You can have that in the rest of your music in any performance that you do. Thanks, guys.